Ignore the weird splotch on the screen, that's my iPad water damage.
This is Peppy, the lead developer of OS, who's preparing Lazer for ranked play by the end of the year. That means official leaderboards and PP for plays set in Lazer, a big step, so how's that going? Is this list already longer than it was last time?
Yeah, so we're adding things whenever they come up. We've had a lot of people come along and be like, why isn't this issue in the project? It needs to be fixed before we get leaderboards online. And we're like, yeah, we missed that one.
So will that change your end of the year estimate?
No, we factored all this in. With the original scope of the project, we probably could have got it done in a month or two. But we're not going to change the aim for the end of the year. Put it that way.
With this new ranked play goal in mind, the direction for Lazer updates has changed too. This may just be my gut feeling, but it seems like this update is way more focused. It's shorter, but it covers things that majorly impact players, such as the removal of slider head movement. For context, years ago Lazer added this feature where a slider disappeared as the slider ball moved. So if you ended up clicking a slider a little too late, yeah, you would miss.
Everyone's gonna rejoice at this one. We've been wanting to make this change for a while now. It was just about getting the visuals right and making sure that it feels okay. Most of the cases where this matters, or where you can see this, it happens so fast that adding any kind of transition just makes it look worse, so it's just a jump cut.
So after this change, the slider head stays in place until you click, or until the hit window closes. So if you've been turned away from Lazer by seemingly random misses, this could be the turning point.
The mod select overlay is one of the most commonly used screens in the game, so we are trying to make it as easily usable as possible. One of the things that is consistently mentioned is when changing the settings of a mod, it's very hard to see how they're actually affecting the difficulty of the bitmap.
And thanks to the new difficulty stats box, that's no longer a concern. Mostly. If you enable hard rock or easy, this works as expected, but with speed changing mods like double time or half time, only star rating and BPM change. A bunch of other stuff changed about mod selection too actually, so let's cover all the changes at once. To start, the yellow presets column is way smaller if you don't have any presets.
If a user is not using presets ever, having it take up 1/4 of the screen doesn't make much sense. So yeah, after you add the first preset, it will expand back out to the full size again.
The difficulty multiplier was renamed to score multiplier, and for visual convenience it was moved from up here to beside the map stats. According to Peppy, you can expect this search bar to be moved soon too.
That search bar is taking up a lot of vertical space, and it means that you can't see as many mods as you may otherwise be able to.
And 3 more minor adjustments. There's a flash animation when this number changes, an X was added to indicate speed multipliers, and in the difficulty adjust mod, approach rate shows its millisecond value. So at AR9, 600 milliseconds refers to the time between this frame and this frame. And also, you can now extend AR limits down to -10. Do you find it weird that GN made this pull request?
Right, I didn't even realize that.
This sucks. So much better. This is actually such a nice feature if you ever share replays. It just automatically downloads the relevant map. As part of this ranked play goal, Lazer gameplay needs to meet expectations of players coming over from stable, and this update worked towards that in a few minor ways. First, there was a hotfix for the classic mod's note lock.
You couldn't hit sliders and stuff, it was very bad.
There were a couple spinner changes, including a change to when you earn these spinner bonus points. And your friends are back to wearing pink on the leaderboards. Lazer has massively improved the editors for different modes, and it's only getting better with this new setting. In Tycho and Mania, you can now see scroll speed changes in the editor, without testing the map. While the editor isn't exactly a priority for these next few months, it's still nice to see some mapper appreciation like this. And one last thing, you might have noticed that there were a lot of hotfixes after the last update. That's because the performance change Smoogie previously talked about had to be removed. Is it coming back, or?
I don't know. These optimizations are really complex to the point where even if we think they're gonna work, it's not gonna work on 100% of hardware, and that's kind of what happened here. There was probably 1% of users where the game either wouldn't start anymore or ran at very low frame rates. that last mile, fixing those cases for an optimization like this, when we're also trying to get ranked gameplay out, is not worth it. Not this year, for sure. I guess that shows our commitment to focusing on what matters. Well, performance does matter, but leaderboards matter more.